Hi, this is A Navin, rule number 49. My topic is about Introduction to Java Server Page. Explain the life cycle of Java Server Pages. The contents. Introduction. Why we use Java Server Pages. Advantages of Java Server Pages. Installing Java Server Pages. JSP architecture, JSP processing, and JSP lifecycle. Here we see the what is Java Server Pages. Java Server Pages JSP is a technology for developing in web pages that support dynamic content, which helps the developers insert Java code in HTML pages by making use of a special JSP tags, most of which start with less than and end with greater than. Web developers write JSPs as text files that combine HTML or XHTML code, XML elements, and embedded JSP actions and commands. Using JSP, you can collect input from users through web page forms, present records from a database or another source, and create web pages dynamically. Why we use Java Server Pages? Performance is significantly better because Java Server Pages allows embedding dynamic elements in HTML pages itself instead of having a separate CGI files. Java Server Pages are always compiled before it's proceeded by the server, unlike CGI PERL, which requires the server to load an interpreted and the target script each time the page is requested. Java server pages are built on the top of the Java Servlets API. So like Servlets, JSP also has access to all the powerful enterprise Java APIs including JDBC, JNDI, EGP, JAXP, etc. JSP pages can be used in combination with servlets that handle the business logic, the model supported by Java Servlet template engines. Finally, JSP is an integral part of J2EE, a complete platform for enterprise class applications. This means that Java server pages can play a part in the simplest applications of the most complex and demanding. Advantages of Java server pages. VS.Active Server Pages ASP. The advantages of Java Server Pages are twofold. First, that the dynamic part is written in Java, not Visual Basic or other MS specific language, so it is more powerful and easier to use. Second, it is portable to other operating systems and non-Microsoft web servers. VS.Pure Servlets. It is more convenient to write and to modify regular HTML than to have plenty of println statements that generate the HTML. VS.Server side includes SSI. SSI is really only intended for simple inclusions, not for real programs that use form data, make data connections, and the like. VS.JavaScript. JavaScript can generate HTML dynamically on the client but can hardly interact with the web server to perform complex tasks like database access and image processing, etc. VS.Static HTML. Regular HTML of course cannot contain dynamic information. Installing Java server pages. First of all, download Java Server Web Development Kit from the website JSWDK. Comes with full documentation and it's very easy to install. The JSWDK is the official reference implementation of the Servlet 2.1 and JSP 1.0 specifications. It is used as a small stand-alone server for testing servlets and JSP pages before they are deployed to a full web server that supports these technologies. It is free and reliable but takes quite a bit of effort to install and configure. Other servers that supports JSP. Apache Tomcat. Tomcat is the official reference implementation of the Servlet 2.2 and JSP 1.1 specifications. It can be used as a small stand-alone server for testing servlets and JSP pages, or can be integrated into the Apache web server. LRE JRUN. JRUN is a servlet and JSP engine that can be plugged into Netscape Enterprise or Fast-Track servers. IIS Microsoft Personal Web Server, older versions of Apache website, or Star 9 Web Store. New Atlanta Servlet execution is a fast servlet and JSP engine that can be plugged into most popular web servers for Solaris, Windows, MacOS, HP, UX, and Linux. Gephian's Light Web Server (LWS). LWS is a small free web server that supports Servlet version 2.2 and JSP 1.1. WebSphere. IBM's WebSphere very large application server now implements Java server pages. JSP architecture. Typical web server supporting JSP. Here we have clients and other side web servers. In between this we have internet. In the web server, JSP files are stored. JSP processing. The following steps explain how the web server creates the web page using Java server pages. As with a normal page, your browser sends an HTTP request to the web server. The web server recognizes the HTTP request is for a JSP page and forwards it to a JSP engine. This is done by using the URL or JSP page which ends with JSP instead of HTML. The JSP engine loads the JSP page from disk and converts it into a servlet content. This conversion is very simple, in which all template text is converted to println statements and all JSP elements are converted to Java code that implements the corresponding dynamic behavior of the page. JSP processing. The JSP engine compiles the servlet into a executable class and forwards the original request to a servlet engine. A part of the web server called be the servlet engine loads the servlet class and executes it. During execution, the servlet produces an output in HTML format, which the servlet engine passes to the web server inside an HTTP response. The web server forwards the HTTP response to your browser in terms of static HTML content. Finally, web browser handles the dynamically generated HTML page inside the HTTP response exactly as if it were a static page. Step explained with the help of a diagram. Server with JSP container. JSP lifecycle. Initialization JSP init JSP services. Paths followed by Java server pages in its lifecycle. The following are the paths followed by a Java server pages: compilation, initialization, execution, and cleanup. JSP compilation. When a browser asks for a Java server pages, the JSP engine first checks to see whether it needs to compile the page. If the page has never been compiled, or if the JSP has been modified since it was last compiled, the JSP engine compiles the page. The compilation process involves three steps: parsing the JSP, turning the JSP into a servlet, compiling the servlet. JSP initialization. When a container loads a JSP, it invokes the JSP init method before servicing any request. Typically, initialization is performed only once, and as with the servlet init method, you generally initialize database connections, open files, and create lookup tables in the JSP init method. JSP execution. This phase of the JSP lifecycle represents all interactions with requests until the JSP is destroyed. Whenever a browser requests a JSP and the page has been loaded and initialized, the JSP engine invokes the JSP service method in the JSP. The JSP service method of a JSP is invoked once per a request and is responsible for generating the response for that request, and this method is also responsible for generating response to all 7 of the HTTP methods, that is GET, post, delete, etc. JSP cleanup. The destruction phase of the JSP lifecycle represents when a JSP is being removed from user by a container. The JSP destroy method is the JSP equivalent of the destroy method for servlets. That's all about my topic. Thank you.